Hello everyone, my name is Vel and today we are going to review a new launch that is gonna happen on 28th of November for DEDE'SIGNATURE brand, and it's a Festive Elegance Palette and 2 singles. Huge thanks to the brand for sending me that in PR. That was really kind of them to include somebody from the other part of the world basically to get their new launches, a couple ones, and to present it to you in such a timely manner, because today is the reveal and on 28th it's the launch day. So we will have a look on all of the products. We have 2 singles that are single multichromes. They are split single multichromes. They don't really have names, but you can call them whatever you like because they are also very Christmassy and very festive. I will show you the textures and I will show you how they look on the eyelids, as well as the swatches. And also this palette, which is indeed a festive elegance, and I will prove it to you in 4 looks. So hopefully you are interested to see what I can create and what it is all about. And if so, let's begin. So today I'm starting the Festive Elegance palette. There have been a couple of changes in my appearance lately, and I'm sorry about that, but things change, life goes. I actually had a split dye with the black, but I decided that it's not me and not to keep it. So I'm showing you the palette. DEDE'SIGNATURE Festive Elegance. We have a classic Christmas schema with a bit of gold, with a bit of silver-ish sparkles, red, neutrals and greens. This is thought through palette as I can see it from what I think about it, but it's still quite a neutral one with accents in my opinion. So today we will try something slightly weird with yellow and green and neutrals with browns. So let's begin. So first of all, I wanted to say that I have a tart shaped tape as my base on the eyelid today. So I have Urban Decay and then tart shaped tape. This is just to tone down my eyelids so they are not as pink, so we have more universal beige base. I'm taking the shade Snowed In, and it's gonna be the shade all over the lid because I need something to base the shades on. And this is also, it's not exactly white, even though it seems white in the palette, but I think it's because of the this little outlines, the covering, the sparkling outline that they have, and because of that it just affects the overall situation, and you see the colors a bit differently. This is beige, like a bone beige, not white, and it kind of matches my skin. If I was not pink, like if I was more neutral, then this would match my skin completely. It was not really seen on my forearm because when I was swatching it was very, very light and kind of matching me, which is great actually, because somebody with a light skin color can have a shade for them. It's really nice to have a blending shade into the skin. Then I'm taking the shade Cocoa Wrap. This will be my crease shade, and it's super buttery smooth matte. I am really, like, I haven't been doing makeup for about a week or maybe more since I did the Auden's Eye, and I am right now touching these shades, these mattes, and I feel the difference. It's like a completely different formula, a completely different experience. It goes on so smoothly, and it's so like you can manipulate it nicely. It's blending with other shades. I'm just really confused about Auden's at this point. But Dede, I think, knows what they're doing. This one looks wonderful, and I'm applying it to the crease and all over pretty much the outer edge of the eye, keeping the shape, or at least trying to keep the shape. Then I will go into the darker shade Mulled Wine. It's a color of a dried blood, so it has a bit of a red in it, but it's also a dark brown. It's a very interesting shade. I feel like we have like a couple of things here and there that are matching, like one is lighter, one is darker, this kind of situation. Some are in 3, some are in 2. So yeah, we have reds, we have browns. Mulled Wine is going to be the crease shade to darken up everything. I'm applying it with a smaller brush just to have it like in the darkest areas, and I'm also going to the bottom lid with it. I'm slightly taking it into the area below the lid, so to say, because I will need it there and not up Then I think I will need to blend it back with the cocoa wrap. This will be, yeah, they are, you can see how they're blending into each other. Like, you cannot make this up, especially on the macro, on cameras. You cannot like imitate that, and they are blending into each other really, really nicely. This is such a wonderful experience. Once again, I am so sorry that I'm repeating myself in this, but it's just so good. I will go over with whatever's left on my brush at the top, but under the brow, and at the very, very bottom, so that I can have it there. Then I think I will go into the Golden Amber. This will be my inner corner shade, and I will connect it to the bottom line so that I can have some pop of color in the inner corner that goes into the brown. They look nice both with green and with the brown. That's why I'm not really worried about anything. It's just gonna be nice. And I actually need something green to place my green shimmer. Of course, it's not necessary, but it's nice to have, and it sometimes is really helpful to have it. So I will go into the Olive Toast first. This is going to be like a base shade, which I will need to darken on some areas with the Missile Teal. You can see in the outer corner how well they are blended together. This was not the case at all with some other stuff that I had, but right now I'm having a blast. It feels so good. So we are ready to go into our shimmers. When I was swatching them, they do not really have any particular super multi-chroming properties, but I can see right now that some of them are actually changing shades slightly. We will also have a look later on our two duochromes. I will include them, or multichromes. I think it's supposed to be a split single multichrome. I will show them later, but right now we're going to the Tinsel Twist. It's a green that slightly shifts into the blue, and it will be like the centerpiece, the center color in this case. It's not going to be alone, but it's good to have it there. Then from the side of it, I'm going to take Emerald Sparkle. The Tinsel Twist is a bit more kinetic sand texture, but it's not actually doing anything bad. It's just that when you are pressing the silicone brush into it, or the brush into it, you can feel how it's going down in the texture because it's slightly wet, like kinetic sand. And Emerald Sparkle is a bit different texture. I cannot really describe it, but I feel like it's drier. So that's what I can tell. The Emerald Sparkle I'm just leaving on the inner and outer edge of this whole look. I also add a bit of Emerald Sparkle into the center of the green, but then I decided to go over and go into the Gifted Glow. Gifted Glow is going onto the yellow directly, like it's belonging there. And I'm also dragging it onto the lower lid. It's so smooth. Once again, the whole experience of using this eyeshadow is really nice. I'm just applying and it glides on. Yeah, I have no words. Gifted Glow is also something that I will take onto the very center in a very small amount so that I can have this like pop of golden color. Nothing too fancy. And to the bottom lid, I will also add a bit of the Emerald Sparkle, just so I can have them kind of bind together, you know, the both top and bottom. Now, into here, I think I will need a brown liner, dark brown, something rich brown will be good. Then I will finish up the whole face and the second eye, of course, and come back to you with the finished result. So this is the look I came up with, and I am really happy about everything. There is a sparkle called Emerald Sparkle, and also the Gifted Glow Gold. The Emerald Sparkle is super sparkling shade. I am so into it. It's so pretty. It's really sparkly, and I like the combination of green and yellow and brown, and it kind of just looks a bit refreshing, I guess, because I was thinking where to apply green, considering that I did fully green look not long ago, and I just needed a break from the fully green, so I decided to take a bit of brown and just apply it. I have a bit of a weird situation here where I applied some of the stuff, but it's still like the blendability of this shade is really good, so I'm not really bothered or worried about anything. They are so nice. I've been touching a different shades before. I was working with different brands, and I did not expect that I will be so into this palette. It's a smaller palette, it's 15 shades, and it's very Christmassy in the vibe, as you can see. It's very much a Christmas story with a bit of red, a bit of orange, and a bit of green with some neutrals. So it's wearable, but it's Christmassy. And I did not expect to like it this much. Like the mattes here, I think are one of the best I've ever tried. Seriously, these mattes by this brand is just... oh boy, oh boy. I am really into it. I love the makeup. I love how everything looks. I'm just so happy that I have this thing here, opportunity to try it, to touch it. And I bought 2 additional palettes. Maybe I already told about it in some other video, but I bought 2 additional palettes, and hopefully I will be able to get more next year because it's just really good. I'm shocked. And I'm really into it. The shades themselves don't seem to go anywhere, so I don't have any creasing or crust or anything like that. And they are very vibrant and they are very blendable. That's all I really can tell right now. We will still touch more. We touched half a palette, more than half a palette, I would say. We have 2 more shimmers, basically, and few more mattes, like 3 maybe mattes that I didn't touch yet, which means the second look will be in the reds, most likely. We also have these wonderful split singles. I think they're supposed to be like multichrome split singles that come with this palette, and I will also try to do some look with them, so we can have a look on these as well. The green one is actually going to blue. I don't know if you can see, but it's going to blue. And the red one is going to orangey yellow, also very bright. I think it will be really cool on the lid, and I will try it out. You can replace any shade in the palette with this, but usually I am not into like changing the layouts or changing the palettes at all. I don't really need them magnetic because I'm not doing anything. I like the pre-made palettes because they give me an opportunity to like dive into and see what the creator has been thinking about, and just have a look, have a work with what I'm given. So eyeshadow so far look really good. I'm super happy about it. What else do I have on my face? Kevyn Aucoin foundation as usual, a NARS concealer also as usual. I have a Sephora contour stick. I'm not changing that in any nearest time, I guess. Then I have Jubilee by Dennis and Myricks. I'm not sure why I chose this one. It's a bit more flushy peachy than I was thinking. I thought about something more orangey or neutral on opposite. I have a True Harmony by MAC somewhere there. I have a lot of stuff there, but I'm forgetting sometimes. If it's not on the display, I'm usually forgetting about things. But even if it's on display, but somewhere behind, I'm also forgetting about things. I don't know how to deal with that. I just need to touch and go through the things that I have. Then I have a highlighter Ofra Rodeo Drive. I also have a bunch of their highlighters somewhere there. I have a small palette of 3 highlighters, I think, and a couple like blushes, so I need to take it out and see what I can do with it. Good stuff, really good stuff. Then on my lips I have Artist Color Pencil Anywhere Caffeine. I'm not sure why I took this one, probably because it's looking really similar to the blending here, so I was like thinking that they are matching each other, maybe, I don't know. And then Espresso Soak by NYX, because I like good brown, and this one is a good brown. I also unleashed my Cowboy. That sounds weird, but okay. Cowboy is a shade of brown from Beauty Bay. It's a gel liner. I really like pot gel liners. They are drying out on me. Like, they are drying on the eyes and they're drying in the pot because I'm not using them that often, but I like gel liners. This has been my favorite eyeliner since I started actually doing eyeliner at about 14 years old, which means that was quite a long time ago. cannot even calculate anymore. 17 years, maybe? Something like that. So I've been using Maybelline Lasting Drama for all the years, but it's not available anymore. I still have a pot of it. I still have a bit of it, but I wish they would make it again. But when Inglot is fresh, it's also really good. So the pot liners are my favorite, even though I use a lot of liquid liners. At the end, I'm turning back, I'm coming back to the pot liners all the time. All the time. Also, I did a bit of a change with my hair. Actually, for the past week, I was walking around as a ghost, like more of a corpse. With the split dye. I used the hair mask in the espresso soak. Not espresso soak. Espresso soak is this guy. In cool espresso or something like that, like it made my hair blue-black on the half of the head. So I just separated the half and completely made it black, except the roots because they're not taking the color from the mask. Yeah, that was an experience. I understood that I don't like the dark colors on myself, and today I changed it. First I did a bleach bath to remove the color so that it's lifted to something like this, and then I dyed it beige blonde. Now I am on one side a bit darker, on the other side a bit lighter, because here it was this still and here it was black. And my roots got this orangey golden color because the dye actually had a bit of lifting properties in it, and yeah, it just took my natural roots in a bit of a different state. But it's okay, it will grow out, it will wash out, I will neutralize some of the stuff. It doesn't matter, as long as this is more or less similar. Even though it's like, you can see that there is a difference in the shade, I think I don't really bother that much about this stuff, as long as I am feeling myself in this blonde and a lot of cat hair. Yeah, so that was it. I am happy with today's look, happy with today's experience. Very excited to continue tomorrow because right now it's already very late. So after work tomorrow I will do another one, and then another one, and then another one. So see you tomorrow. So cats are dropping something in the background and I'm in the meantime trying to get to another look. I think today we actually will be working with a multichrome. This is the red to orange with a bit of green. I don't really see green right now, but later I will show you on the swatch on my fingers basically that you can see the green there as well. So I think we will start with something relatively simple, and I will start with the shade Snowed In, just as a base for the whole look. This is not necessary, but I kind of feel myself a bit more sure, secure, I guess, if I have it. So once Snowed In is there, I will go with a candle smoke by the edge of the eye frame that I will be doing, just to like define for myself the edges. This is also going to the crease and to the bottom line of the eyelid. So yeah, bottom eyelid outline. I'm sorry, I'm losing English sometimes. Then I will go into the shade Holy Flame. I'm using the fluffy brush first, just to distribute it a bit more, and it's more even that way as well. I'm just kind of trying out how the shade is behaving, and this matte is really good. As you can see, it's not getting stuck anywhere and it's very nicely distributed. I'm only leaving it on the moving lid, so I'm not trying to bring it somewhere else. It's gonna stay on the moving lid and to the bottom lid as well. Then I will go into the shade Plum Majesty. Plum Majesty is purple, as you can see. I've set it as a wing, and I think it will continue kind of this scenario with a wing, but I will also drag it to the crease to darken it. I'm not doing much here, like it's the same kind of stuff that previous time I also did, but just slightly different, just slightly. I will need to do something more interesting next for sure. But for now, let's continue. And once I'm happy with the blending of the Plum Majesty, I can go back to the red with the shade Holy Flame, but with the semi-flat brush. So this brush allows to pack the shade instead of blending it, and I know exactly where I need to pack it now, so I can just do that. very bright red. It's a raspberry red, so it goes into the raspberry color, so it's a cool toned one, and it kind of creates a nice pink for me. And into the very inner corner I will take the shade Snowed In, for now at least, and also I'm bringing it to the bottom lid as a outline kind of. And now we are ready for our sparkles. Our sparkles, the main one will be this multichrome single. I don't know how to call it. It's kind of a flaming, but it's also going into the green and yellow, or more like yellow and green. On the eyelid you won't see much of it, but on the finger, I will show you a bit later, it goes into the green as well. So I'm always very confused how to apply the split singles, the split eyeshadow, just because I'm not quite sure which part of it I'm supposed to take more, which one less. But in this case I'm just applying it with a silicone brush. I'm trying to get a bit of each and distribute it onto the moving lid. I'm always starting in the center and then dragging it to the outer edge, leaving the gap for the liner, and to the inner side up till the end of red. So I'm not going on to the white in this case. There will be something else in there. And then I think I will take the shade Crimson Carol to the bottom lid. It also kind of duochromes into yellow, so you can see it a bit. So this whole look will be pretty much in this colors. And now I'm showing you the swatches of both of them. So the Crimson Carol has a darker base. It's more smooth and it doesn't have this very interesting shine that the split single has. And you can see the difference clearly of what is what, but you can use both or you can use only one. It's up to you. They are very similar in the effect on the eyes, but of course one will be giving you more multichroming properties and the other one is very subtle duochrome. And I think because we have the yellow, I'm thinking that the silver one is not gonna be very good in here, and I want to switch to the golden. Yes, it's again golden in a corner, but it's like a firework and I kind of want to continue with that. So I will go into the golden ember first as a base on top of the white. It doesn't have to be very strong or anything, but I think it will make things a bit easier for me. And then on top of that I will go to the Gifted Glow, so that I'm distributing it to the inner corner and to the bottom lid a bit, so I can also make later the yellow waterline. I think it will look really nice. And I also take it with my finger into the center of the lid, so I'm just tapping it once to the brow and on to the center, just the center, because it's like golden sparkles that are missing in the very smooth multichrome, but I think it adds a bit of an interest to the look in general. Yes, I think I will need to create a liner here. Maybe a smoked liner even. I will cover it up with a plum color anyway, so it will be like matched. Unfortunately, I don't have my Inglot in plum color because they did not send it to me in the right color and they just refunded me and let me keep the brown they sent. That was unfortunate, but that's kind of what it is. Yeah, so I will do the liner and I will come back to you with the finished face and the second eye too. So this is the look, and it's like glowing. It's really glowing because it's so bright, so vibrant, and it's very strong in the duochroming. It is in fact a multichrome, but I cannot get on my eyes the green one to be seen because I don't have enough curvature of the eye. My eyes are like pushed back, so they are more in my skull. That's why I just cannot show many multichromes on my eyes themselves. But you can see them on the swatch on the finger, because fingertips have like the very edge is a bit more multi-dimensional, like a diamond shaped kind of, or the bottom of the diamond, and there you can see a bit more lights and more multichromes basically. So if you're curious about some things, just try to look on the shade, just swatch it and leave it on the very pillow of your finger and just look onto the light. It should show you if that's a multichrome or a duochrome. A bit better, just to understand maybe. So this single shade, I am really enjoying it. It's very smooth, very buttery. I like how it shifts into the different colors. Basically, we have the red to orange to yellow and to green, but you don't see half of them because, as I said, on my eyes it's not that easy to show. But yeah, it is a multichrome. However, you don't have to take it. On opposite, you can take only it and not take a palette. The palette also has a duochroming shade in the red. It's also quite smooth. You can see that it shifts to orange. So very similar, but smoother. So this texture is a bit different to that one on the multichrome. But still, it's really nice looking. And this yellow sparkle, the golden sparkle, this yellow gold is so nice. It really sparkly, like crazy sparkly. And I like this glowing effect. And I love the matte, because the mattes here are probably becoming one of my favorite formulas that I ever touched. And this tells a lot, because I have like more than 100 palettes, and most of them are indie palettes, and I've touched quite a bunch of them. And yeah, of course I have untouched ones too, but kind of in my way, in my experience that I have for the past couple years at least, these are one of the best mattes that I've ever tried. Yeah, I didn't think that it's possible, but it's apparently the situation here. So they are blended really nicely. The plum shade is very nice, purplish plum. And the red is very bright red as well. Yellow is like, the colors are true to themselves. Pretty much how you see them in the pan is what you will get. Sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes the background affects, sometimes something else affects. So here, for example, this one looks more white, but it's actually bone beige. The yellow is also a bit brighter. So they are kind of, the background just affects them, but they are very bright and into your face and very pigmented and very smooth matte. I'm really enjoying that. And the sparkles, I love the sparkles. Honestly, sometimes it's very good to have just a sparkle and not a multichrome. However, we still have one more multichrome single to go to add into this whole look with this whole palette, and I'm thinking about something silverish. We have one shade untouched, it's a champagne something, and I want to connect it to green and to make something in neutrals as well. So I will try to do that, most likely tomorrow. I'm not sure what exactly I will do, but we will see. In the meantime, I'm pretty happy with everything. I don't really have creasing happening, but my eyes are not very oily, and I'm using the Urban Decay base with the tart shape tip on top. And to me, Urban Decay really works. It's I think it's a silicone-based primer with a bit of talc, so it kind of prevents the own oil from like being dispersed to the surface. And if you have more oily lids, maybe something else works for you. So for the longevity and for the how the sparkles are setting, it really depends on your base, and I'm not the best to judge in here. I think sparkles we are checking by the multichroming properties or the sparkling properties, how they are applying, if they give the crust or not. But yeah, most of them do not really crease on me, so I'm not good in judging that, and you have to take this into consideration really. But yeah, so far that's it. What else do I have on my face? Kevyn Aucoin foundation, NARS concealer in vanilla, Sephora contour stick as usual. I used Hourglass Deer palette, 2 of the blush shades. I wanted something like a flush of color, like just a hint of it instead of the full-blown blush, because I have such a vibrant already lips and eyes that I do not need anything additionally. It would be too much. And also I had quite a few fallouts of the matte shades in red and purple because I applied them without like tapping off the axis. I usually don't do that. Also, what you can do is you have the mirror, for example, somewhere in front of you, and you just move yourself forward a bit so that it doesn't fall out onto you, but more like on the table. That is also a way of how to like work with this stuff. It's a bit uncomfortable, but it's also kind of okay to look at yourself from the lower perspective in such scenarios. Fallout was there, and what I do is I'm usually leaving my concealer like unset. It's wet concealer, and I'm just wiping it off. So I don't have to use anything additionally, I don't have to do anything else. I'm just wiping the first layer of concealer off, and then I'm applying the foundation and NARS concealer and all that stuff. So that really helps me with the fallout things, and it also removes majority of the sparkle that can like drop down, that can fall out. But for me, it's totally fine. I'm just wiping it off. Yeah. Then I have Space Age Solar Sailor highlighter. This is a slightly golden one. You can see it's shifting a bit gold. It's a bit less yellow gold, and I think it also kind of duochromes into green a bit, but not too much. Kaleidos lately came out with a new collection, and it's been 2 years since their previous collection. Everybody was waiting for them to do something. They want, as far as I understood, they want to focus on something unique, and they are developing like new products rather than going into the eyeshadow palettes and all that jazz. And they came out with lip pencils, eye pencils, and some balms. Eye pencils I truly love. They're very glide on. They are multichroming or metallic or something like that, and I do enjoy that. The price is a bit too high, considering that they also have like the price on the website does not include the tax. Tax will be included after, so they are like quite an expensive bundle. And also the price for the whole collection that they released is almost 400 euros, and I was like, hell no, I love Kaleidos, but not that much. And I'm just, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it right now. Maybe I will buy 1 or 2 pencils when they come into my when the opportunity comes. I would buy 1 or 2 pencils, but lip pencils I probably would skip, just the eyeliners, because they are really good. They are something unique, and lip pencils really reminded me about the Makeup Forever. And balms I'm not interested in at all. Even the refillable balms, I'm just, nope, that's not my thing, and I'm not going for it. Okay, let's continue. What else? I have the MAC Cherry. Cherry is a cool toned red. It's like a medium ranged. It's not very light, not pink, but it's also not dark. So this one is very similar to what I'm wearing today, and I decided that to pair them together. So Cherry is good for the reds, and then I have a Cranberry Splash NYX Lip Ivy or Lip 4. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to be honest, but yeah, Cranberry Splash on me gives this nice color, especially within the cool toned liner, and in the bottle it looks a bit different. Everything looks different in the bottle versus on skin, but yeah. Okay, I think that will be pretty much it. I am relatively happy with everything. Why am I saying relatively happy? I'm really happy with everything so far. It looks good, it feels good. I am enjoying the look, I'm enjoying the experience of working with the eyeshadow, so I have no bad comments whatsoever. So yeah, it's a good makeup day. Good makeup day. And I think I have nothing else to say. I will come back tomorrow, so we will do something green together. So see you tomorrow. So this is the last makeup look we will do together. I am thinking about something green in browns. I think it may look really nice, so let's try to achieve that. I will start with the shade Cocoa Wrap. I'm starting with that shade quite often, and with a little tiny pencil brush. I'm gonna outline the inner corner by the edge as a arch of halo in the future, and then it will go into the bottom lid as well. Then I'm gonna outline the outer edge the same way. I'm not the best of like defining some shapes. I kind of like to follow what I already have, but it's not exactly what I already have. It's higher arch, because I'm also trying to keep my eye kind of interesting even when it's open, and because of that I have to go a bit higher above the natural crease. Then from the outer side I'm also kind of drawing a V on the outer shape. And next thing we do is take a bigger brush, the one that I used actually for blending, And with the same shade, Cocoa Wrap, I'm just filling in slightly to the point of leaving the center clean and just the outsides are blended a bit. So not too much, a bit more graphic, but I think it kind of looks good. Then I will go into the shade Mulled Wine, and I'm gonna repeat pretty much the same thing, but with the very edge. I don't need to be I don't need to blend a lot of these things, but it's very nice to see that they're still blending. And as you can notice, I did not use the base in this scenario because sometimes for the graphic kind of stuff, I like to keep it more on the sticky side, I would say, because yeah, it's not technically sticky as a concealer, but still it's not the fully set base as well. So it can be a good option like this to try something. Then I'm blending the things together, going back to the Cocoa Wrap brush and just going over. It's blending, which is nice. I'm pretty happy about that. Don't forget the lower lid. You gotta do the same in there. Then I am going to blend this whole thing slightly a bit more. And then I will go into the Pine Nights. I think it's the one shade that I didn't touch yet. Pine Nights is bluish to green because it's like a teal, darker teal color. And I think it matches the multichrome that we are going to touch perfectly because it also has blue to green shift. So it will not look like something alien on the eyelid because of that. And I am just placing it onto the outer edges the same way. So I'm kind of covering the brown, but still leaving a bit. In the center, empty. And this empty space is going to be the brightest shade, the brightest space on the lid, while the darker corners should like go slowly dark. I'm not sure what I'm trying to explain, but okay. And don't forget the lower lid as well. Then I'm gonna add a bit of the candle smoke. With a fluffy brush, I'm just blending the edges here just to make it a bit more soft, but at the same time not to blend over too much. The ones that are dark and that I set like in a darker way, they will stay, but the very top of the pigment will still be softened a bit, which is what I need. And after that, I think we are ready to go into the shimmers. So I'm opening the single multichrome shade, and as you can see, it's pretty much blue to green with something in between. Maybe there's something purple in there, but I cannot really see it right now. But I think it should be something more purple. So with a silicone brush, the texture is a bit different here. Some is more flaky, some is more like sandy, I guess. That's what I can tell about it. It's pretty smooth still, but applies a bit weirdly. May crease, but I hope not. Well, I'm setting it into the inner center and then dragging it to the corners. I'm covering the whole thing. The whole top lid gonna be this color, this shade, and it's so far looking really nice. It's duochroming, and I think, yeah, the third one is a purple one. And I will increase the intensity a bit by applying it with my finger. Yeah, I think for the green one, this looks good, and we will connect it to the pale gold. Champagne color is supposed to be pale gold, not a silver or anything. I will apply it. It's very like a sand texture, this shade, and I'm applying a bit of it to the bottom lid. And it kind of behaves like a sandy shade, like a glittering something. So I think it's a sparkle, but the texture is slightly weird. But it's setting nicely and it's holding there, which is what we need anyway. And I'm also going to apply this to the outer edge of my blending because I want to connect them kind of together, and this will allow me to do so. And once I'm done with that, I think I will only need to add a liner here. I'm not sure which liner it's supposed to be, but most likely something black or dark brown. And after that, I will come back to you so we can have the final result. So this is the final look of this review that we are doing together. I will still do one more, something like nude-ish probably, because the palette allows that, so I need to utilize that. And this Multichrome is very pretty. It's very smooth, it's metallic shine, and it goes from green to blue and purple. And it feels like blue and purple are on the same level, that's why you don't really see them that clearly, but they are there. So this little guy is very interesting. It has a bit of a crumbly texture, a bit of a crumbly in terms of being the mix of flakes and sandy textures, and together they're giving like little crumbs of things. They are absolutely harmless, and they are able to be put and like placed and smudged kind of in a way, and they are making this smooth metallic shine. But yeah, the texture itself, it can be very intimidating to work with. So sometimes the textures are just a bit weird, and this can happen, and you may not like it. You just need to be aware of that. So I'm trying to make you aware of that. The shimmers here are mostly sandy in texture, and it feels like they're crumbling in the pan, but it's not the case. They are not crumbling in the pan. They are very sturdy in these terms. But yeah, they are like glitter without glitter. I don't know how to explain it properly, but they are like separate little sparkles, but you do not feel them. Like you cannot feel the texture at all. It's just something how they apply and how they look, rather than something that you feel, which is totally fine in this case. And I'm super happy that I tried mattes onto like a general base for me, like without any additional help, without any support, so to say. It's just Urban Decay and concealer, and then I started directly with eyeshadow, and they are blendable. The case of previous review is not the thing here, and I am really happy about everything. I love how it looks, I love how it works and blends. Just the shimmer texture can be a bit weird at first, but nothing creases on me. This metallic shine, metallic texture, it's like you have a piece of fabric, and fabric has folds, and when you move the fold, when you stretch the fold, it's totally fine in there because nothing actually like falls into it. It's just the fold in the fabric. This is the same thing that happens here with the eyelid. Eyelid, it has folds, and the shade actually gets so smoothly sticking to everything on the eyelid that it gets onto the fold, like covers the fold, and then when you are looking straight, for example, you have this fold and feels like it may be creasing in there, but it actually does not crease in there. It's just a fold. I hope I'm able to explain what I'm seeing on my eyes with this example. But yes, you see something and it feels maybe like it's going to crease, but it's not. So on me right now, nothing is creasing really. It's been approximately an hour since I applied it, and if it doesn't appear right now, usually it doesn't really get into any troubles later. That's just how my eyelids work, but they're not very oily. You also have to take it into consideration. And I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion Original as my base, and then the concealer that I used. And everything looks fine. Everything works greatly, and I'm really enjoying both shades of the shimmers. So the light gold one, the champagne, is really pretty. It's like one of the prettiest shades. I love such shades. They're like slightly beige, and I'm a beige flag, you know, quite literally too. So I just like browns and beige colors as well. And that's why I really like this look and these shades too. I think the makeup turned out really cute. Yes, so far that's pretty much all I can tell about the eyeshadow itself, except that I fluffed up again with the symmetry, but that's my problem, not an eyeshadow problem. One eye I have is bigger than the other. That's just how I draw sometimes. I just cannot really do it fully symmetrical, and sometimes I can, but it's rare. More rare than just doing it differently. They are sisters, not twins. Both eyebrows and eyes. And the sides of the face as well. That's just life. Okay, I think by the eyeshadow that's pretty much it. What else do I have on my face? Kevyn Aucoin foundation, Sephora contour stick, NARS concealer, all the same stuff that I'm using. Then I used Painted Peony. I really like this shade. It's like a natural flash, and it's coming from within you, and it's so pretty, and I wanted to get more of the shades, but I think I won't be getting anything right now, at least in the nearest time. Then I have the Film Star Bronze and Glow by Charlotte Tilbury as my highlighter and additional contour. So I had the Sephora contour stick, and on top of that I used a bit of this. And as you can see, it's also looking really nice. It's just slightly warm, but to this look it's totally good. So I'm not against it, and it's more neutral to me. So I do enjoy this contour, but this highlighter seems like a flower to me. So the texture of highlighter I don't really like, even though it looks smooth, but it almost like does nothing. It's like, it's kind of there, but kind of does nothing, and I don't like the texture. So the contour itself I really enjoy, but the highlighter is not my favorite for sure. I like the face palettes from Charlotte Tilbury, not for their original price, but I do like them, unfortunately. And I don't like her eyeshadow. I think it's overrated and it's too expensive for what it is. Let's continue. Moving on to the lips, I have MAC Chestnut as my liner today. Chestnut is one of my favorite colors from MAC. And then I have the Espresso Soak NYX Lip Ivy. I'm not sure if I already used it. I already forgot because it's been quite some time since I'm filming this and going through, and I also do the work during the day, and then I come back here in the very late in the evening and trying to do something else, and some information just gets out of my mind in the meantime. So what happened 2 days ago I already don't remember in details. Like, I know I did something, but what I did, no. So Espresso Soak, I love this gloss. I do love this gloss. I would have gotten more, but I don't know why NYX doesn't want to collaborate with me. Maybe at some point they will, but definitely not now. And I will continue buying one by one some things that I like. Some are too similar to each other, but there are others that I enjoy. So far I have 4 shades, and I'm using it quite often in the looks as well. So I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have on myself for now, and that's all I have for today. I will gather my thoughts. I will get another look with the palette, because that's what I usually do. It helps me to refresh my feelings, and then I go straight into giving you the opinion of everything combined. And I will see you tomorrow in the final thoughts. This is the last look I created with the palette, and I decided to go for something more neutral but festive nevertheless. And I stopped by this brown smoky eyes in cocoa colors with a liner made out of the champagne shimmer. So I was able to just take the shimmer with a small brush and tap it on to create a liner. That was really easy, and that I think looks really cool because it's also very wearable. You have neutrals and you have this festive look with the liner, and slightly tiny sparkles from the liner are on the eyelids. So I think it turned out quite awesome. I'm really enjoying the look. I'm enjoying the experience of everything. And let's talk about the palette and the singles, the whole launch that's going to happen on 28th November together with a Black Friday sale for the Day Signature on the official website. Up to 70%, I think they're saying. So I think it can be quite an interesting one. I will also have a look myself because I bought a couple other palettes also, and I'm gonna tell you also about that. So let's begin. The palette was sent to me in PR at the beginning of October, I believe. So they sent me the From the Roots and the next one right away. I have a little note that the information will be sent via Instagram, and also that it's launching on November 28th, so I was not supposed to show anything before that, and I think I'm doing quite okay with that part, at least for now. And I was not showing much, but I did create everything in time, so hopefully I'm also releasing this in time. Anyway, so this was the cover, the box of a palette. It's a very simple design in itself and quite festive as well, so it's like a Christmas tree with little balls and a little Christmas tree in itself with the logo and the information in here that contains all the relevant info that actually is helpful to know. It contains the net weight of 18 grams, so the contacts, which shades are eyeshadow, which are pressed pigments, where it's made and distributed, and all the notes about that. So if you see something like do not use in immediate eye area, that means that in the USA these pigments are not approved for usage, but in Europe they're totally fine to be used around the eyes. In the box we have the sleeve from the bubble wrap, and the box itself was in the bubble wrap, so the protection was quite good. The palette also came with little squares, protective plastic squares. This helps prevent them from flying all over the place if they are getting broken, and you can just press the same little thing into the pan to restore the shade. So it's really helpful, and it also helps in the situations of shipping, so you're not getting the stuff completely ruined. You can restore it slightly, and then you don't have to request like another palette, and it will not be another round of shipping, and etc, etc. The whole collection contains also a couple singles. They don't actually have names as far as I understood, but one is red orange and one is blue, green blue. So one of them also had a little protective thing because it's more flaky texture, so the texture is quite specific on the shimmers. You have to get used to it. It may actually crease on oily lids, so you have to choose the base. I'm always using Urban Decay as the base, and on top of that I'm using either concealer that is not hydrating, that's more of a drying self-setting concealer, or I'm using the Painterly Paint Pot by MAC, which is a cream eyeshadow that is also self-setting. So for me, I don't have problems with creasing because a lot of things depend on your skin type and on the base you are using. So if I'm not facing creasing, doesn't mean that generally it doesn't crease. It's just maybe for you it can, and you have to take some actions to prevent it, basically. So the two multichromes we've seen on the eyes as well. And now we have the palette. So the palette is quite a sturdy cardboard box, and it's magnetic pens as far as I know, so you can take things out and you can replace the shades in the palette with the singles if you don't like them, for example, or if you want to have more impactful shades in the palette instead of something else. So it's a bit more customizable. The size of the pens is all the same, so they are interchangeable, and we have 15 shades, 18 grams. It's 1.1 something, I guess, per refill, which is totally decent thing. And as I said, the palette is magnetic, so yeah, it's quite an impressive combination of things, I would say. We have here quite an interesting story. Also, we have a mirror in the palette, I forgot to tell you, with a big logo. There is no cover actually, but the mirror is totally fine. And the design is relatively simple in my opinion. So this one, it doesn't really give anything very specific, but it's nicely having the... How to even show it? Maybe I can only show it on a small screen as an insert. But it's holographic and it has a lot of colors in it actually. So it's not plain, but it is simple. So for 15 shades we have more of a muted neutral palette. So the Fearless Holidays was a bright one, it was bigger, it was something right into your face. This one is more subtle. I can understand where the name comes from. It's quite elegant. It's smaller, it's quite elegant, and it allows to create the neutral looks on par with something more colorful. So we have three main accent colors, which is red, orange, and green. You can skip using them or you can use them. So in scope of the palette, I think they all make sense. We have the beige for lightening things up. We have medium brown. We have something that is like a slightly milk with coffee kind of stuff. And you can also milk up the cocoa, because this shade is called Cocoa Wrap. And you have also milled wine, which is darker brown. In this case, I was expecting it to have a bit more of a reddish tone, but actually no, this is neutral dark brown. Then we have a red, which you can darken up with purple, which is actually supposed to be like that. And also lightening it up, you can mix red to white to create pink. So they are mixable, they are able to create new shades right here. So you just tap into one and another and you mix them and you will get new shade. So you can get pink, you can get light yellow, you can get orange in them. If you mix yellow and green, you can also get an in-between shade. Also green contains the shade that is darkening for it, and then you can darken it further with a bluish tone. And I was at first questioning about this specific shade. This is called Pine Nights, and it's teal. It's dark turquoise, so it's teal color. But then when I was working with this single, which goes into blue, so it shifts into blue, and you need teal in order for it to work with the palette. And this is very thought through, in my opinion, because they do allow to work with themselves. And then you have also this single, which goes red to orangey yellow, and you have the shade to work with it. So I think in this specific case, the orange and the teal were added into this palette for these singles to work with the whole palette. And it does work. So I am pretty happy to say that I actually found a way to make them work, and it's working really good, in my opinion. So this coloring around the refills actually is it's distracting from the shades themselves. So I'm trying to show you the shades in the terms that I would like them to be seen. And you can see that this palette, more than half of the palette, or like half of the palette, is pretty much a neutral palette. You can get quite a lot of neutral looks, and the quality of mattes is chef's kiss. I'm so into it. I cannot believe how much I'm into it. And the shimmers have a very interesting texture. So what you also can do sometimes when the shimmers crease or they're too playable, so this one is more like a Play-Doh, because when you press the brush into it, it moves slightly down, so it moves away from the brush, and it has this weirdest texture of a kinetic sand a bit, or like a Play-Doh, kinetic sand, something in that direction. However, if you put alcohol into it, it will become dry, yes, but you may lose the ability to create liners out of them, because you pick a bit of it to the brush and you move it to create a line and it sticks. So this one is not moving anywhere because of the formula and the texture that these shades have. It may be not everybody's cup of tea, so the shimmers are quite like, you may not like it, I understand that. But to me, it was not a problem at all, and I find it nice in terms of the color combinations that are here. So you have 5 shimmers in the palette itself, plus 2 additional ones, and you can create a bunch of looks in a neutral and neutral with accent or only accent kind of way, and the shimmers are amazing. They are very sparkly. They are sparkling for the whole amount of money that you're gonna pay for this palette. They are sparkling like crazy. And the multichromes and duochromes are also seen, which is in this price point is sometimes not showing. So I'm really into the palette. I'm really into the brand so far. I've tried 2 palettes. I bought myself 2 more because they are feeling incredible. They feel like a ray of sunshine is touching me. Does it make any sense? Because I don't know how to explain that, but I do feel really inspired working with the palettes, doing some stuff, trying to find combinations, generally finding the combinations for the whole thing, and like working through, getting experience. So I'm gonna buy more, honestly, because I find it really good. The price for this palette on DEDE'SIGNATURE in dollars will be, let me find that, $48.99. $48.99 for magnetic palette with couple duochromes, with sparkles, and with wonderful mattes is a very fair price. Considering that you most likely can also apply the discount on it and then you can get 10% off, or maybe there will be a better deal with the Black Friday, and I think it's worth getting, really. In euros, it's 51.95, but yes, shipping can be expensive from there. You can find it somewhere else maybe. Then you are losing the ability to choose the Black Friday deal, to actually buy from official site on discounts, than trying to find it later on the closer website. So I'm always calculating when I need to find the point of why I'm buying from the official website. I'm calculating the shipping and taxes, and I'm trying to justify the price. And if the difference is like 5 to 10 euros generally, I would go for the official website, because there I can use discounts. I can maybe support some other creator with that, and I'm supporting the business directly. So in such scenario, you have to calculate for yourself what is better. I would also recommend you to have a look on other palettes. The Fearless Holiday is like a bright and full of life, full of festiveness, bright palette, also Christmas palette. And Broken Jewel and From the Roots are working great together as well. Broken Jewel is like a dark, sultry kind of palette. It's very... It kind of gives me the vibe of that famous ABH palette that was very popular, not modern Renaissance, but something in that direction, when they were really big, and like there are dark colors that are very prominent and they are so just intense. And so far I would say this formula of mattes is one of my favorites for sure. So I will be happy to continue working with this everything, and yeah, I would be happy to review the other two palettes that I bought. Hopefully I will be able to get to that at some point, but I don't know the launches and stuff, how they're gonna be, and if I would have time, etc, etc, but I'm happy that I own them. So let's have a look on all of the makeups I've created with the palette, and I get two very similar ones, but one is more on the warm side with the green and one on more cool side with the green. As I said, also was forgetting already what I created, and because of that it's kind of getting into same direction, I would say. But yeah, I was indeed enjoying the whole experience of working with the launch and creating some stuff with it, and hopefully you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed creating it. I don't think I have anything else to say for now. Yeah, it was quite a journey and I'm happy to be part of it. Once again, huge thanks to DEDE for sending this to me. A small brand sending stuff to small creator is always a risk as well. You never know if the people are gonna show, if there's something gonna happen, and yeah, anyway. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I would be really happy to see you more and to read some of your comments. I enjoy reading comments, everything, and I'm answering to everybody. I hope, at least, that I'm not missing anybody. So yeah, it was a pleasure, and if you're gonna take this palette or any other from the brand, please let me know. I'll be really happy to know about that. And yeah, I'm just sharing my favorite stuff with you, basically. So thank you once again for watching, and we will see each other in a new video very soon. Bye!